We're live! Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another live stream here on Indy Fanatics. Good to see Scott in chat. And Scott, thank you for the poster. We've put it up. Pride of place onto the wall behind us. It will be part of the channel atmosphere. But no, very appreciate it. I really appreciate that. And look, we're wearing some of our shirts. Hello! And Stephen, I don't know what we're racing on today.
We're racing on an oval.
Oh, yeah. Indy Fanatics merch. Boom. Coming at you.
Be reversed.
Yeah. We got the poster. Thank you so much, Scott, for that. Really do appreciate it. I presume there's a little bit of chat going on. Favorite moment of the weekend was Will Power saying some dumbass spun ahead of him, forcing his crash. I wonder if he knew it was McLaughlin. I don't think. Please don't say you can't make it tonight because you're going fishing or something equal banal, like, say, football, for example. Get yourselves on right now because Sky Sports is showing the qualifying right now. Unbelievable, Bow. You wanted us to do qualifying and that. What kind of people do you mistake us for? Actually, I don't think I'm using the Yeti mic here on the stream. Oops.
There's a light.
What's
it's reflecting onto the poster.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's a great poster.
It is a great poster, though. Finally got rid of some of the beigeness. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You got these guys. We got some weird interview with Max Verstappen right now. Edit. Let me see if I can. No.
What's been edited?
I'm trying to do the mic.
The mic?
Yeah, I think it's just come through the laptop. We may just have bad audio. Oh, well. I guess we...
Through the laptop?
Yeah, I forgot to change it beforehand.
Oh, we can't restart it?
Maybe we can. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to attempt that and it to go wrong.
Okay. Is our volume okay?
Just say if the volume's okay or not okay. We'll go from there. Anyway, since the last one, obviously Stephen for the last race was in an undisclosed location. I wasn't able to get back there. Poster was given out at IMS in May 2011. That one belonged to my father. Oh, Scott.
Oh.
That's amazing. Really appreciate that one. We will treasure it as true IndyCar fans.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously celebrating the greatest spectacle in racing. What better thing to have behind
there's
us?
Space here. And over there.
Sponsor this space on Indy Fanatics. Send your post. Good Lord. Not sure I'm too early or too late.
The race hasn't started, so I feel like too late.
Too early. We'll go too early. Steve was spotted at a NASCAR race last time. What? It wasn't an undisclosed location. Wow. Went to a NASCAR race before an IndyCar race.
I was driving in it.
Oh! It all makes sense now. Stephen was driving in it. But anyway, it's Gateway today. It's the last oval race of the season. Josef Newgarden is going for the race for 5. The dream for 5 is alive. Not like Elio Castroneves' chance to be the most winningest driver at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Indy 500. No! It's because there were 5 oval races this season and Josef Newgarden's won 4 out of 5 so far. So can he make it 5 out of 5 today? That would be pretty damn cool and impressive from him. Can Palou wrap up the championship today? It is possible. It is possible for Alex Palou to win the championship today. Wow. So that'll be interesting. Hello, Palou!
Hello, Palou! Oh, yeah. Hello, Palou.
Yeah. The gorilla. Not to the stream, as in time, it's 3:20. Oh, in the morning, I'm going to assume on that one.
Are you in Australia? Wait, no.
Yeah, Zoe. Of course she's in Australia.
Oh, it's Zoe?
Yeah.
Too early. Wait, it's 3:30 too early or too late? I now get the conundrum.
Big C Burger. Was listening to the Liverpool game. Heard the call for the red card. Watched what the red card was for. Couldn't believe they gave it as a red card. Well, that is pretty much the Premier League at the moment on a football one. But we'll stick to racing. Obviously, last time out, there was some quite big news. that we weren't able to cover because we weren't streaming. Hello, Palou, the man. Does he sign contracts? What contracts is there with Alex Palou? Who owns Alex Palou? Nobody really knows. Chip Ganassi think they do. Arrow McLaren SP do. Palou's getting sued again threatened with legal action. Who knows what's going on? But he might be a 2-time IndyCar champion.
Into a big announcement for the channel. We have signed Alex Palou
Alex
for
Palou.
Indy Fanatics.
Alex Palou will be racing for Indy Fanatics on a local go-karting track near us next season. We're really pleased to announce Alex
leading
Palou's
our
arrival to the
go-karting team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys want any signatures, we'll get some signed photos of Palou. You want some old race overalls, we'll give those out. Helmets, yeah, we'll do those. I'm sure he'll be fine with that.
Any contract he has with another team is completely nonsense.
Absolutely not. Alex Palou is an
100%.
Indy Fanatics driver. If anyone else tells you different, I'll fight Chip. I'll fight him.
And Zach.
Zach, I won't fight.
Oh.
He's got too much
He's got
money.
a quite strong bear hug. Just crush you.
No, I just think he's got too much money. I reckon Chip's probably got the stronger bear hug out of the two. If we were thinking about who would fight and win.
I've just seen Zach's bear hug more in practice.
Yeah, I guess you've seen it on Lando Norris.
Yeah.
It looks like it could be intimidating, but I would probably back Chip.
Chip's got a strong high five, to be fair.
Exactly. Val, can I have his seat? Sorry. We wish we could, but Alex Palou signed down to a long-term deal.
Yeah, if there's any contract complications, which there won't be, we'll keep you in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the other one, Ericsson.
He's gone.
What has a circle and then a circle in the middle of it?
Can I answer?
No. It's thrown to the chat. What is a circle and has a circle in the middle of it? It's awkward now. We've got to wait. It's a donut! It's a donut! Yes!
It's a donut!
Otherwise known as Marcus Ericsson. Otherwise, kicking off that he's not being, unless his sponsors have basically said he doesn't. Why would you leave the best team in IndyCar for Andretti?
Is that where he's gone?
Andretti are the Ferrari of IndyCar.
Is that where he's gone? I didn't see the follow-up.
Yeah, he's gone to Andretti.
Wow.
Which means Grosjean is probably out the door, but that is neither confirmed or not. But yeah, if it was purely on a pride thing that he thought he should be a paid driver, he's very quickly going to understand that going to Andretti, and Andretti are a great team, great history, great heritage. The Andretti's amazing family for IndyCar. Currently in IndyCar since the Aero screen, terrible team. Not terrible. I would probably go as far as terrible considering the amount of money that is behind that team.
Yep. They do have a new development center, so potential new horizons for the Andretti brand.
And also, Carl Kirkwood and Colton Herta are better than him.
Yeah. But
maybe not at Indy 500. And that's the one. That is the one. Marcus Ericsson has been brilliant. He wanted to leave as he didn't have a second car and wanted to be paid. CGR didn't want to pay and didn't want to provide a second car. Donut. Absolute donut. You can want those things. I know you're an Indy 500. Don, great to see you. You're glad to know I sport my Indy Fanatic shirt today. Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Glad to hear, Don. Hope it's all good. I know it arrived all good. So, yeah, glad you're enjoying the T-shirt and representing the Indy Fanatics brand.
Represent?
Chip has always been cheap. With his success in the sport, he probably can afford to be.
You've got the best cars, then you just go, I'll give you a championship.
You do have to say, I feel like, here's one for the chat. Me and Stephen were discussing this. It feels like this was Ganassi was expecting it, but didn't really expect Ericsson to go through with it because Linus Lundqvist is a very good prospect. And obviously, having that chance with Maya Shanky impressed in his race with it. But I am surprised that they haven't gone for more of a Kalamila. Well, a real big one would have been if they'd gone for Pato, but Malukas, those sorts of things. I'm surprised, but I guess Chip traditionally hasn't had too many American drivers. Am I correct in saying? I kind of feel like when I think of successful drivers, Chip Ganassi, Dixon, New Zealand, Franchitti, Scottish. I suppose Dan Weldon.
Yeah.
Was for there, but maybe wasn't had the most success with the team. Juan Pablo Montoya, Alex Zanardi, Italian. So yeah, has he really had? I dislike Chip, but we'll give him his due. He makes no bones about the fact that 2 of his cars are funded. Absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, still surprised Pato hasn't won. Yeah, like we were also saying, McLaren feel like they've gone backwards this year as a team.
They're the best ever start to championship with Pato. But yeah, never could get it across the line. And then they fell apart mid-season. But maybe towards the end. It's an oval. They're great on ovals. Starting P3, 4, P4 today.
There is a chance, but I think it's going to be very hard to beat Josef Newgarden. Yep. We saw a bit of a procession at times around Iowa with Newgarden where you were just like, damn, Newgarden is just so good on short track ovals. And I think considering that the championship is gone, this is the last thing for him to really kind of fight for in the season. I think if there's any race out the last 3 that he's just so determined to win, it is this one today.
Yeah.
With it. And he's got a very good chance to do it as well. I'm surprised that Andretti hasn't hooked Pato and promised him an F1 seat. Yeah. Yeah, because it does seem Andretti may be taking over that Alpine seat, mightn't they? Because Alpine in F1 haven't been going well and didn't have a particularly great year from there. Depends on Pato's contract with McLaren. Yep, it does. It does.
What are contracts these days, though?
Well, yeah, I mean, McLaren seem quite happy to buy everyone else and go behind the scenes and take other people's drivers. But when it happens to them, they seem a little bit more protective over it. Yeah. This race is Scotty Max to lose and Newgarden's to win. Potentially, I don't know. Scotty Mack has been really good. He's been right up there with Newgarden all season on the ovals tracks, but this feels like Newgarden's to lose to me. I'm hoping Newgarden can get it done today. That would just be cool for stats. It would be. Here's an interesting one. I presume, no, because of the amount of ovals that used to be on the calendar for it. But has anyone ever won all the oval races in a season before? For those statos out there. If Chip loses Palou, I think he's in for a bit of trouble. Losing 2 experienced drivers sets the team back. His stubbornness has hurt him before.
True.
Yes, but losing Palou wouldn't necessarily have been his fault this time. I would say Palou is Palou was the one who's caused all this trouble for himself, unfortunately. And with Ericsson, look, I think Ericsson has done really well within the series. But can Marcus Ericsson compete for a championship over the season against Josef Newgarden?
Not a chance.
No. So I don't think that's necessarily a loss. And hey, Palou didn't really, no one expected Palou to come in and win it. Dixon's always been the guy. You know, Palou didn't come in. Oh, obviously they thought he was a good driver when he switched from, what was it, Dale Coyne Racing. He was out. But I don't think anyone expected Palou to be the driver that he's turned into. But I have to go to Pato's in camera on photo. Enjoy the race. No problem at all, Tate. Enjoy it. And good to see you on chat. But yeah, there's no, well, Linus would be a bigger surprise considering that he hasn't even had a season of IndyCar under his belt. But, there's no, if Linus is, he could kind of rise into it. And also if Palou does go, I'm pretty sure Chip will go big on a driver. And there'll be a few of them out there, I think, that he could go big on for it. And if he wants an experienced guy, he could always get someone like Pagano into the seat.
Yeah, I was thinking Pagano.
If Pagano can race again, of course, because I think Pagano's season's done for this year. But it's whether he can come back. Oh, it's overcast, not as hot. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Should be a good one. Time to start our engines. John Bonamorito, he's been a very good sponsor for IndyCar, actually. He's done a very good job with this race at Gateway in terms of getting fans in. So I hope he continues to sponsor the race for a long time because, he's doing a fantastic job for IndyCar on that front. I think they're just doing a little clip of Josef Newgarden talking about potentially winning 5 ovals in a season. I think Simon's career may be over. I think that's probably fair. Could Andretti have targeted Marcus purely for his F1 experience to possibly do sim work and as well to drive in LMDH when there's no conflicts? It would be a smart move on that front. Obviously, they had Roman Grosjean on that, but I sense that things aren't all at bay for Roman Grosjean, and I feel Grosjean will go into sports car racing after this season. I like this 3 abreast parade lap. A salute to the Indy 500.
Oh,
absolutely.
Nice.
That's really good. But yeah, Linus in the seat again for it. Devlin Di Francesco, Scotty Dixon down on row 8 and Palou down on row 7. So yeah, I mean Dixon's got a lot to do, but if Palou crashed out,
what happened to Palou? Because I thought he was starting P5. Or did I completely?
I think there were a few that had to do engine penalties, and I felt Ganassi were one of those teams. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, interesting on that.
On the full star lineup.
Pyro makes everything cooler. Just seen
Oh
it.
yeah,
It does. Woo! Fire. Roman's issue was his arrogance. He went in thinking he was better than everyone else. Yeah. He was humbled pretty quickly in that first season at Andretti. I think he thought after he did well at Dalecoin Racing, it was all just going to fall on his lap and he was just going to be challenging for the championship. And, unfortunately for him, it hasn't happened. And he went from probably being one of the most likable drivers in the series to, I wouldn't say least the drivers. I think he's still riled up in that first season, but I don't think the fans warmed to him as much either.
Whoa! Was that last night?
I think so.
Where's your backup car, Marcus? He looks so pissed. Do you want the full starting lineup? Or did you catch most of it?
Yeah, no, let's do the full starting lineup. Let's give it to the fans. They've probably seen it.
From the front to the back. Newgarden, Herta, Pato, Felix, and Roman Grosjean are your top 5. Malukas, Rossi, Power, Idol, and Scott McLaughlin are your 6 to 10s. Then P11 is Connor Daly. Linus Lundqvist races again in place of Pagano in P12. Enio P13, out-qualified by Linus again. Palou, yes, with an engine penalty, starts P14. Marcus Ericsson P15. Scott Dixon P16. Takuma Salo P17. Devlin P18. Christian Lundgaard, a disappointing P19, I would say, for the Rahal Lemons. Bad weekend for them actually in qualifying. Renus VK was P20. Graham Rahal was P21. Cole Kirkwood, P22, looking for another race from the back. Ryan Hunter race P23. Stingray Rob, P24. Benjamin Pedersen, P25. Santino Ferrucci, P26. Ed, 27th. And Augusta Canapino rounding up the grid. in P28.
There we go. There's your grid roundup. There's your grid roundup. And while Steven was going through that, I was looking confused because I was like, I'm pretty sure that Alex Palou drives the 10 car. And Marcus has got his spare car. They've given him Palou's spare car.
Wow.
He's in the American Legion number 8 car today. And go from there. Shout out to Connor Daly for a great qualifying under difficult circumstances. Absolutely. Connor Daly is good on ovals. If there were more ovals on the calendar, I think more people would take a punt on Connor Daly. But he just isn't a guy that has found a way of getting results consistently on road and street courses. And go for that. If Palou crashes today, that could spice things up. It could.
He's in the pack.
But I don't think he will.
He's in the pack.
It would. I think the championship rival now has to be Dixon, doesn't it? I know, obviously, Newgarden can get quite a big swing after that. It would have been interesting if Newgarden didn't get caused in the trouble last week. It would have kept things alive, and if he was able to do it. But yeah, we're about to go green as the bunch up behind. Well, it should be Scotty Mack, isn't it? But that looks like it's Colton Herta who's on pole position.
Wait. Newgarden leads, and Scotty Mack had a penalty. He was down in P10. Did you not listen?
Yeah, I kind of did. Clearly, I didn't. But we are having Josef Newgarden lead us round to the green flag as we come onto the start-finish straight. Here we go. We start the race here at Gateway. Green flag. They go deep. Oh, wow. That was a little bit of an all spot. That caused a load of smoke, but it looks like we're going to get through turn 1 relatively unscathed. We've got cars going 3 abreast through there. Really impressive clean drive. No, we are. It's Pedersen. No. Benji. No.
One of the fastest drivers on the grid, unfortunately, will not partake in the rest of this race. Oh.
And we've done pretty well in recent ones. It's been quite a while, actually. We've been due a first lap caution because we haven't had one for, I'd say, 3 or 4 races.
Oh, looks like possibly Malukas was involved.
And we even avoided one at Nashville.
Was that Stingray's car?
If it's at the back, it's only kind of really going to be Santino, Ferrucci, or Stingray, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I did think it was getting caught in that kind of, what is it that he put down for the oil spills? Oh, he looks like he's got tapped, maybe. Was it from his teammate?
Bang. That's a big hit.
I want to say he's potentially tapped by Ferrucci there. Oh, no. It wasn't Ferrucci. He was tapped by someone. Who is it? Who did it?
Who was it? Augusto Campino was at the back.
Yeah. Maybe Ryan Hunter-Reay.
No, that's Canapino. That was a Hunko's Hollinger car, wasn't it?
Ed needs to just do. Oh, it was Ed. It was Ed Carpenter. Pedersen might be set for a new record for most DNFs. Oh,
was it Ed? I swear there's a Hunko's Hollinger car.
Yeah, Ed really does need to just do Indy. He's not really doing too much of it now.
Yeah, it's nose.
It appears that Carpenter may have punted Peterson. Hello, David. Good to see you in chat. Pedersen and Rob have lowered the bar lower than ever. Yeah, I'm going to say this across the next generation of drivers coming in. I suppose it's always the way, in fairness. But when you have 2 outstanding rookies in Kirkwood and Malukas, and your next ones are Benjamin Pedersen and Stingray Robb, that's not too much of a criticism to the 2 guys, but yeah, and the time before that, you've had like the Palous, the Patos kind of coming in full times, the Colton Hertas coming in recently. It does feel like a drop, but then I was going to say I also feel like that in terms of the most recent F1 guys as well. It's I don't know if just the level of racing driver is getting a little bit lower, but is that because it's getting more and more expensive?
True.
So they're narrowing it down. And, Pedersen is mainly in here because of the money that he can bring, because we all knew that Linus Lundqvist was the driver who on talent was the one who should have progressed into the IndyCar field. Those two guys are not the biggest IndyCar wankers, but they're working on it. Neither Father Time nor Mother Nature have ever lost, and they have been known to have tempers. Absolutely. Absolutely they do. And yeah, at some point it just goes a little too far for you. But I guess try telling that to Scott Dixon and Will Power. I know technically they haven't. Will Power won the championship last year, and Scott Dixon, I know he's gonna be way off Palou, but arguably he could still finish as his closest competitor this year.
True.
Didn't he finish closest to competitor to Power last year, or was that ended up being Newgarden? I think it was actually
I think it was Newgarden, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a teammate battle.
Pay drivers are an unfortunate inevitability, but they always have been. It's just part of racing. You just accept it. There will always be those people who buy their way into the sport. And because it's an individual element of it, and you can still have a good driver in another car within your team, it's never going to massively affect the sport, I'd say. It's just an inconvenience in this situation.
With the rookies?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when Jimmy came and did he did 2 seasons in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, no, he did.
Jimmy Spin Johnson.
In fairness, though, Jimmy, for all he achieved in NASCAR, had earned the right. He'd earned the right to try.
Yeah, for a season. And then you go, I'll do ovals only. Good old Jimmy. Yeah, it's like, well, they're always going to be the minority. It's like, I don't really care if Stingray and Pedersen don't do a lot. It's a 27, 28 car field, most races. It's like, as long as you have 15 quality drivers battling it out, you're always going to have entertaining races.
Yeah, and let's be honest, there is no one in IndyCar who I look at the grid and I go, there is someone keeping a really good driver out of a seat. Yeah. I know I did kind of say Linus Lundqvist, but he's still an unknown quantity. There isn't like, because the likes of James Hinchcliffe, as much as I, really love Hinch, and it is sad as a personality, he's not in the grid. He wasn't a guy like at the top of the field, as we like Jack. But, Jack also wasn't at the top of the field, and on performance-wise, he's lost his seat on that one, not because of any other reasons for it. It's, like you said, it's a big grid. So to have those pay drivers in it, does it really affect things? No. Does it help some teams get by? Yeah. There we go. It helps. And they're still far more talented than you or I at driving, to be fair. So you have to give them credit on that ones. As Tom Keller once said, in racing, talent guarantees you nothing. Exactly. Nicky Lauda bought his first ride. Quite a lot of the big guys bought their first rides. Without funded drivers, the ride UST wouldn't exist. Exactly. They don't even have more than 5 quality drivers in F1, and even the only one is capable of winning. Exactly. But right, Ferrucci has gone on to a different, and that's the interesting one this weekend, isn't it? We've for the first time on ovals, we've got 2 different tyre compounds.
Yes, we do.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that pays out. And Santino Ferrucci has decided to take the gamble and stick some sticker reds on. Being at the back, what's he got to lose? AJ Foyt, obviously, they're a team that struggle anyway. This year,
we were going to say everywhere.
Well, they do.
Bar the 500 package.
Yeah, but they went gung-ho on winning the 500 this year. And let's be honest, they came damn close to doing it. Like, Ferrucci was in the mix, and on another day, he wins that race.
Yeah.
So they got, their best performance in a... Oh, yeah, so... And realistically, if they won the 500, that pays for the season in itself.
For sure.
Like, AJ knows where the team is. They're not challenging for championships. They don't have the funding to compete with those boys. So 500 wins for a team like AJ Foyt is a smart thing to do.
We're lining up again, though. Newgarden leads us round for start number 2. And hopefully no one bends it into turn 1.
Great to see you, Chadwick. So yeah, we've now had 10 laps of the 260 lap race, but we are green. Newgarden leads us to green. Looks like a bold move. Is that Marcus Armstrong, I think, in the green car? I think it is there. We've got Pato going side by side with someone there who's come through. I think it's Malukas, isn't it? Malukas again running well on the ovals. Fantastic to see. Clean. It looks a clean restart this time. Is that Marcus Ericsson? No, it's Palou on the back of power. Linus Lundqvist doing well, being in P9 at the moment, running in the top 10. He's trying to line up. It looks like a move on Will Power here. But thinking against it, Will Power is very good at running the high line on the short ovals. And, oh, look at that. We've got a McLaren triple threat there. Rosenqvist, O'Ward and Rossi all together as Malukas had moved up into the podium positions. Colton Hurd's a P2 and Josef Newgarden P1. Hasn't dropped it yet. And as always, we know on short ovals, especially with a guy like Josef Newgarden leading the field, and if we have green laps, navigating traffic is going to be key here. And there is no one better on the IndyCar grid navigating through traffic than Josef Newgarden.
Alex Palou side by side with Linus Lundqvist. Easy move into turns 3 and 4. Up to P9. Started P14 as +5 already.
And after a good qualifying, unfortunately, Linus's Meyershank racing car, like that car, hasn't really had the pace for the last 2 seasons, really. Scott McLaughlin makes easy work. Obviously, he knows he's got a fast car. He qualified at the front here, but had to take some penalties for the race. Hopefully, that can benefit him going forwards. He will be now chasing down and pursuing Alex Palou. So the grid as it stands, 15 laps of 260. We've got Josef Newgarden P1, Herta P2, Malukas P3, Rosenqvist 4, O'Ward P5, Alexander Rossi P6, Roman Grosjean at P7 in that kind of mint-coloured car. Today, Will Power P8, Alex Palou P9, Scott McLaughlin P10, Linus Lundqvist P11, Eilert P12, Dixon P13, Ericsson 14, VK 15. So Palou's had a great start because I'm pretty sure he only started 1 row in front of Scott Dixon, but he's made his way into the top 10 already, as Alex Palou tends to do. And
I said he was +5.
Yeah, there you go, +5. Interesting one on Roman Grosjean. Is that Andretti have lost the DHL sponsorship, or they have just running a special livery
for
like
the
they've
Gateway? Run that green livery before.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they have. But yeah, interesting over now. AJ Foyt values Indy above all else. He has been there every year since 1958. Yeah. Although people look at open wheel pay drivers with eye, some pay drivers end up being truly amazing in sports car racing to the point they are competing with the real drivers. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's not a kind of looked at. It shouldn't really be a look down function. You've got to get yourself on the grid. And some of them are just, it depends what your motive is. If you're paying for it, but you know that you dedicate your life to racing, you are giving everything every day in, crack on. Because, yeah, you might be something special. And sometimes you have to kind of make your own luck and force yourself into these situations. But interesting here, Newgarden hasn't really split away from the pack, which I was maybe expecting them to drop. They've stayed quite close behind. So that front, I would like to say 6 cars are all pretty closely bunched together. Grosjean is there, but maybe there's a little gap between him and the Arrow McLaren of Alexander Rossi. But yeah, Herta is staying there. And when has Herta won a race this year?
No.
Crazy. Go from there. When will Scott Dixon retire? Is he the Fernando Alonso of IndyCar? I love Fernando. Scott Dixon's probably better in IndyCar terms for it. I don't know if Fernando Alonso had a career in IndyCar, he probably would have won a load of stuff. That'd be funny because that guy is just a serial winner and a competitor. He will give everything he's got. But Scott Dixon, probably more Lewis Hamilton, I would say, is probably a better comparison for Scott Dixon. But yeah, Newgarden is feeling vibration. Not again. No, not a suspension. That just allows everyone to compete on a level playing field with Newgarden, doesn't it? Because he'll still have a car that's much faster than everyone else.
True.
Yeah, Fernando is his own worst enemy. Absolutely. Joseph appears to be in command at this point. Yeah, look. I would be shocked if Newgarden doesn't win the race today. We are lap 23 of 260. He's starting to pull away. Yeah, I guess he is starting to pull a little bit away. Where Newgarden will gap the rest of the pack will be once he catches up with the back of the field, and then he'll just carve his way through it.
Oh, yeah. And then we'll see people drop him.
Depends. I know Scott Dixon he races for Ganassi, and obviously he raced at Le Mans this year. I can see Scott Dixon carrying on in sports car racing if, he wanted to win maybe a couple of more of the kind of big endurance events ones. I know, I'm pretty sure he's won 24 at Daytona.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I see Dixon moving back to New Zealand farming. No, I don't think he'll move to New Zealand, Scott. I think him and his family are pretty settled in the UK, from what I understand of it. I think they're all happy with their kids here in the UK. So I think he'll just, he may go farming, but it will be in the UK type of thing. He's the type of one that will probably come out for appearances at Goodwood's Festival Speed, at the Revival. I think he'll do all those sorts of things for it. But I think he'll race for as long as he has, because when he won, obviously last time out, what a fantastic win that was. We missed one of the races of the season when Stephen was in an undisclosed location. Last time out, Scott Dixon was truly fantastic. And, after being the most consecutive starts in IndyCar ever, he won in IndyCar from the back of no else in there. But he was asked on the radio before we knew all that unfolded, like going, what keeps you going? And he just says he loves racing. So I think as long as Scott's up there, and he is up there pretty, consistently year in year, and that's what was his 19th consecutive season with a race win. If he does it again next year, 20, that's just mental to kind of think. But yeah, Scott Dixon will probably be doing Ironmans and marathons his 60s and 70s. Yeah, he just loves it. I feel like Penske are just good in general ovals. You figure they have that NASCAR background to help them. Yeah, but it's also Penske started in IndyCar, didn't he? I'm pretty sure Roger was started as like an Indy only entry, and then obviously he's built his way up into the juggernaut of the team that we know today for it.
They literally own the series.
I wouldn't say it's just Penske are good on ovals. I would just say Penske are good everywhere. And Josef Newgarden in particular, after his super speedways, was probably his one, I wouldn't say weak link because he's been good, but getting the monkey off his back this year of winning at Indy. Short ovals he's always been brilliant at. Even back in Ed Carpenter racing days, he just knows, he just loves it. I don't know. He just finds a way, he finds a groove, and he's just lightning quick here, for sure. If Palou stays at Ganassi, issues of who the big dog is will arise. I don't know. Maybe. I think Scott very much knows where he is at the moment. He tries to compete with Palou, but I don't really think he kicks off. And like we were saying,
yeah, we were having this discussion the other day,
yeah,
saying can a team operate with multiple big drivers? Because we see in F1 where you have a very clear defined driver 1 and driver 2, or you have team rivalries. But in IndyCar, every driver has their own little team. So it's like less of an impact. Like they have their own strategy crews.
own
and
pit
whatnot.
box. They have their own kind of, place where they come into pit. So you don't have that problem of double stacking cars. Both can come out at the same time and there's no real issues to it. There's everything really. I know in F1 they still do have their own little parts of teams within it, but it's the same pit crew, isn't it?
We're still all led by the same head, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. He will kind of make overarching decisions where sometimes if they're not in a fight, I think did Scott Dixon win the championship in 2015? And Tony Kanaan was with Chip Ganassi and he was helping him out there, rear gunner, as Kanaan wasn't really in title contention and Dixon's going for there. So I can see that sort of element in it, but it very rarely, they are teammates by name in IndyCar and not really much else.
Yeah.
Like when they're on track, it's every man for himself. Best race driver on the day wins.
Yeah. So basically you can stack it. You can stack your team, but then the pressures come with if you're paying the drivers, if you're stacking multiple top drivers, you're paying out a lot of money in wages.
Yeah. But if you can afford it, why wouldn't you have the best?
Exactly.
Penske was a very accomplished sports car racer who transitioned into owning sports cars, then went to Indy in 1968. Bam. There you go. Knew we could rely on you, Scott, as always. A clean crew is a happy crew. Absolutely, Bal. 36 laps of 260 here. As always with oval racing, this kind of first stint is the chess game part of it. I always think this is where kind of fuel management, this almost bar yellows kind of coming in and affecting the race. This is where the kind of trajectory of the race is kind of determined who's going to go on different fuel strategies. Now we've got different tyre strategies on oval as well. So that's going to be an interesting one to see how that one plays out. I presume it's the usual kind of tyre rule in terms of you must run both compounds at least once in the race for it and see what the better race tyre is. I can imagine it's still going to be the black primaries, but there may be just like a shorter kind of fast stint that kind of mixes things up. But it's an interesting one to see how it goes. But yeah, Newgarden looks quite comfortable in the lead from there. As always, one driver kind of sticks with him. In this case, it's Colton Herta. And then you've kind of got the rest below that, really. Apparently, there is little difference in the compounds. I mean, they couldn't go too drastic, let's be honest, because then you're kind of artificially affecting things. I imagine it's something they'll tweak with over time, but your first race, especially on something like ovals, you don't want to cause carnage. Like you don't want to make the compound so kind of soft that gives the lightning speed, because you don't want to cause more crashes and cautions in the race, and you don't want to cause tyre blowouts if you kind of affect it with the compound too much as well. But yeah, it was also done to forbid teams from qualifying on the reds. Yeah, it seems a little weird on that one. Do you guys know what the fuel windows are? Not at the moment, but I imagine on this sort of race, it's usually
80?
probably going to be, were you going to go 80? I was going to go maybe 50 to 60.
Yeah.
Just 4 sets of, well, it would be 5 sets of pit stops. But yeah, about 60, 65 laps Scott's gone for. What did you guys think of the most recent Super Formula race in Motegi? David, in all honesty, I didn't watch it, but give us a rundown. Let us know what your thoughts were. Was it a good race?
The title decider is going to be a belter, isn't it? You got like 3 title contenders going into the final doubleheader
Nice.
in Super Formula.
It is a good thing, obviously, when you have such a short season as Super Formula do. Obviously, it's only an 8-race season, isn't it? Over there on some pretty challenging and technically difficult tracks over there in Japan. But yeah, it means that one person can't really kind of pull away too far away from the pack.
Unless they win every race.
Well, yeah, I guess that goes on.
Like Alex Palou.
Coming up on traffic, what's Super Formula? Super Formula is the Japanese open wheel series. So it's a regional series, kind of Japanese version of IndyCar, but obviously not as kind of like a sustained full season as IndyCar. It just is an 8-run season, mainly kind of run by Japanese drivers, and a lot of Formula One teams use it as a place to send juniors, rightly or wrongly, because actually it's a very difficult place to go and do well, to be fair. But
whereas we're seeing Liam Lawson could go winning his debut season.
He could. And Liam Lawson is a very highly rated driver and go from there. But it is an interesting season. Same size cars. Yeah, similar, I would say, sort of cars. Maybe even smaller than Indy cars, I would reckon. They are quite nimble little ones in Super Formula. I think they are more similar. Again, I think they're more like a Formula 2.5 type thing.
Formula 2.5. As we see Newgarden approaching back market Ed Carpenter, he's already 3 laps down. Can he go 4? Stay tuned as for a few brief moments, because Newgarden ain't holding back. And as we see, the gap is up to nearly a second between him and Herta. It's only going to extend once we hit the proper minefield of traffic.
Ed, please quit. A plead from Scott in chat. And it is, I guess he just does it to kind of give himself sharpness so that when he gets an Indy, but there's so much practice at Indy. And Indy's such a kind of unique course in itself. Do you really need to run other ovals? Like, if he won today and he hasn't been close to winning an oval outside of the Indianapolis 500 for a while.
Well, you can even put in the 500 in there for a while.
Well, yeah. He
qualified well.
Yeah, he qualifies well, but doesn't necessarily, look like he's going to win it. But say he won it today. Other than obviously the personal satisfaction of having a trophy in his cabinet for it, look, Ed just enjoys racing, I think. He's one of those guys, owns the team, runs for the team. He does it all. If he enjoys it, fair play. Is he hurting anyone other than Benjamin Pedersen's race prospects today? But yeah, he hasn't done from there. Super Formula laps a good bit faster than F2 and IndyCar, so Formula 1.5. There you go. Yeah, they are quick little nimble cars, to be fair, because obviously Indy cars are much heavier and robust due to the safety that it needs to be across its 3/4 different formats it runs, and obviously street road courses, super speedways, and short track ovals like we're running today. But yeah, in his defense, the ride only exists for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's his team. Do what you want.
Like, it's really up to him in terms of it.
Do you think Chip would want to still be racing if he could fit in a car?
Potentially. Did Chip? Yeah, Chip raced himself, didn't he? Chip was racing in the 80s, wasn't he?
Wasn't he sports cars as well?
I feel like he was sports cars as well, and a little bit. Well, back then, I think they all were a bit of everything, rather than solely just one element. Even the F1 guys. because it was far more flexible to work across the calendars, so to speak, and the seasons were shorter than the mammoth ones that you have to commit to nowadays. I need to look into this Super Formula then. Sounds like it'll fit in with my Japanese trains and planes hobbies. Yeah, I mean, it's a great little series, in fairness, Super Formula. Chip was involved in a horrific crash at 98. I thought it was that. And that's the way. He nearly died in it, didn't he? Chip can race in esports, indeed. Absolutely.
Is that Takuma going slow?
Yeah, because I had in my mind, there's Dale Coyne racing and...
We got a car going slow.
Yeah, I said Marcus Armstrong, didn't I, earlier? But obviously it's Takuma Sato.
We got a car going slow. Or did they just have a moment? Who's in that car?
Yeah, I think it is Takuma. Does look like it's Takuma's car. So I think Takuma has got an issue.
And he's given Malukas a great opportunity on P2 that we're not seeing. There we are. Malukas has done it. The temporary roadblock of Takuma Sato has put Herta massively out of position as he's now getting swallowed up by Pato, who obviously got past teammate Felix.
And then there you go. Award, Felix taking advantage. Alexander Rossi looks like he's going, obviously, old teammates of each other. Herta's going to squeeze there, but whoa, massively. He's in. He's just sacked it off. He's gone, you know what, I'm going to pit. That's completely thrown me. Yeah.
Jesus.
Severe head trauma. Yeah, it was a big one. McLaughlin hasn't moved much. Surprised. That is a surprise, but don't rule out. These first stints in any IndyCar race, after the initial run and any kind of caution restarts from there, we don't tend to see too much movement until the end of the stint, where you usually get at least one car dropping off quite a lot on tyres. Unfortunately, it seems to be Colton Herta quite a lot of the time. But yeah, who else is that has pitted with him? It's interesting to see.
VK, Daly, Rahal, Palou! Hello, Palou! He's in the pits!
Hello, Palou! What can he do? P9 was where he was. Alex will want to win the race today, but he just knows the championship is his, bar any horrific mistakes. He knows short track ovals aren't necessarily his strength. I don't think he's going to risk too much today. I think he's just going, just finish.
Just finish, yeah.
He will obviously try and finish as high as possible.
He'll probably still come top 5.
Exactly. He'll be opportunistic, as Alex Palou always is.
Oh, it was Augustus Canapino slapped the wall whilst trying to get past Takuma. Bam.
Yeah, almost came back on track and took someone else out. Not sure who that was. Maybe it was a Devlin DiFrancesca. I want to say maybe it was potentially Devlin. But yeah, Scott Dixon now running P9. It's going to be interesting to see.
Scotty Mack's in.
Is that Scotty Mack?
Or was that Devlin?
I think that's Devlin.
Devlin's in.
But that's Pato in, and that is then Scotty McLaughlin in. Behind Pato and Ward.
Felix.
Felix?
I've seen bottom left. I'm seeing Felix.
Oh, wow, it is. Felix has gone more for kind of Pato.
Yeah, I know. The livery is Pato's livery.
Maybe, did Felix have a crash in practice? Palou has had one of those charmed years. His results at Nashville should never have been. Yet, honestly, Palou has had one of those years where just everything has fallen into place. That's Pato.
No, yeah.
That's it. And now race leader Josef Newgarden comes into pit row. He's in the first box. I presume that's an advantage this time here. But goes out. Pretty clean stop. The number 2 Penske crew will just be running through the motions. Santino Ferrucci comes out. There's that Kyle Kirkwood also from there. Ferrucci's just going to slot in behind Newgarden, maybe use the draft to try and stay. Maybe he's going to try and make a move early. on Newgarden to kind of stay on the lead lap, because obviously if you stay on the lead lap, anything can happen really from there. But we've still got Power, Dixon. Interesting if they're trying to go for a really kind of deep strategy.
I not who slapped the wall?
Yeah.
Not Canapino, sorry. I put Canapino in every single incident today. He's just my go-to guy. Canapino! It was I not who slapped the wall, taking over the Kuma.
You're right, Don. The green flag stops are fun. They are, really good. Sorry about the earthquake simulator there. But yeah, it really is great. And that's where you see a lot on pit row.
If the timing sheets have updated, Pato jumped Malukas in the pits, and Herta jumped both of them.
Yeah.
The undercut's looking strong.
I think Power and Dixon here are going on the basis that they're just going to run deep and try and get an cut down, try and gain back a whole extra pit stop on these front runners. I think that's going to be very difficult to do. But yeah, they're having to try different. Yeah, Power and Dixon.
They're literally just pitting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did kind of wait a few extra laps. And all those laps add up to not 60.
Not 60. They're going to be way down. Miles behind leaders.
But I guess they're going to have fresher tyres later on in the stint.
True.
But I always feel in short ovals that track position kind of is king. If you can get ahead. Yeah,
Pato's lining up and moving Colton Herta here, though. Drafting up into turn one. Sticking in the draft. He's overtaken him once. He knows what to do. Nice and calm.
And we've got Pato Ward on the sticker red alternative tyres as well.
You think if someone's going to challenge Newgarden, if you had like a list of 5, Pato's definitely up there. Always looks strong on ovals. McLaren seem to have a good oval package generally. He's got to get past Herta if he's going to have a proper challenge at Newgarden. Obviously, he had that amazing stint around Texas. Super Speedway this is a short oval. But there's potential. But we're looking for a hero, basically, to stop the super villain of ovals in Josef Newgarden. To stop stealing them all. Now, Herta, Andretti is just going to go wrong at some point. So you're not going to put your eggs in that basket.
Other than if you were betting on something to go wrong with Andretti, then you would put your eggs in that basket.
And here comes Pato Ward. Great lift off on the back straight. Oh, it sends on the inside of turn 1 and 2 into P2. Let's go. Let's go, Pato.
Come on. Bit more enthusiasm behind it, Stephen.
Malukas is going to have a look. Little Dave. This is what I mean. Andretti.
Yep.
You just can't back him.
No, you can't. Colton had obviously pitted a little bit earlier. I don't know if that's making a massive difference. It shouldn't really make too much of a difference at this stage. Pato, you could maybe argue, although there isn't really too much difference between the tyres, maybe the red compound was a quicker one for him. But Malukas is all over the back of Herta.
Tell you what, Pato's flying right now.
And we have seen it before that Pato can just get in a groove where he just
I think he's going to have
flies.
a run here. I think he's going to have a serious run on Josef. Start scaring the king of corn.
I guess this is the stint to do it if he's going to, because, I don't know how much of a difference those sticker reds are going to make. They're going to hope that it makes a little bit of a difference. But if there is any sort of pace difference, then he's got to take full advantage of that this time round. Malukas looks like he's dropped slightly off behind her. No, I lie. He's right on the back of him. But yes, as Stephen said, Pato is making a run on Newgarden. He's cut the gap down to 0.4 seconds. He's looking like he's getting closer and closer every time. Pato has found something in this stint. He's very happy with the car. We've seen it before, that when Pato just gets in a groove on ovals, we know Newgarden's capable of it, but Pato is as well, where he just feels like the car's on rails and he's on a groove and he's on a line and he just nails it lap after lap after lap. And yeah, he's looking very good to kind of give Newgarden a run for his money here, at least in this stint of the race. And Malukas, as we're speaking about that, is having a look, was potentially looking on going on the outside of Herta, tucks back on the inside, tries to get this slipstream on the back straight. Is he going to be close enough? Herta's got a little bit of traffic behind him. This is for P3, so a podium position on the line, and would be Malukas, who has done so well in qualifying on these short ovals this year. It'd be interesting to see how he can, whether you can actually convert it. And look, Malukas goes for the inside. Herta closes the door, but he's getting closer and closer. Each lap looks like a Ward maybe drops a little bit.
Woo!
I think that's Stingray Rob. I think that is. Yeah, it is
Stingray
Stingray Rob.
He's shaking.
He is wobbling. I think his steering's potentially gone. No, he's managed to kind of hold it in. Power's going to look to kind of draft and fly around him here. And also Renus BK's taking right. Oh, wow. Stingray Rob has completely stuffed Will Power there. Completely stuffed him.
Loses all the momentum. He's going to be vulnerable to whoever's behind. Grosjean, possibly. Jeez. Stingray, I don't know why he didn't pit. I guess he was so high. He couldn't cut across.
Go, Lil Dave. Problem with the Reds is that there was so little practice time. They're an unknown. Absolutely. So, yeah, they may have a little bit of pace here. But it looks like Award's closing a little bit on Newgarden again as we see him in the slipstream. So I definitely feel he's going to have a run. But these guys have kind of dropped. As often is the case in ovals, you usually have the front two kind of drop a hammer and go off on their own. And so Herta is still managing to keep Little Dave behind him as it currently stands. But I think it's only a matter of time before Malukas overtakes for sure. But yes, after running in that first stint all together as a pack, Ward is chasing the front. Rosenqvist has maintained a top 5 position. And Marcus Ericsson has moved his way into the top 6 as he drives one of his last races for the Chip Ganassi racing team. Who would you say is the Alex Albon of IndyCar?
So it's got to be someone who lost their seat. Well, someone who started at a smaller team, promoted to a bigger team, lost their seat, has come back with a smaller team, and is showing their ability.
I want to say
doing an Alex Albon.
I want to potentially say Felix Rosenqvist. The closest to that we have.
Yeah.
Not an exact story, but yeah, Rosenqvist would probably be that. But there, kudos to Pato. Everyone else is way in the rear view. Absolutely. Go from there. Don't look now, but here comes Pato. Absolutely. And he kind of gets a little bit of a run and then has to back off a little bit. And well, I guess Pato's also probably conscious, like we said, the Reds are an unknown. He doesn't want to burn these out and have to pit massively early on these tyres, because if you drop on an oval, you can really drop back on it. But you've seen Alexander Rossi's race strategist there, currently running P7 in the number 7 car. Is there any other kind of fun numbers that are kind of linked? If we get Marcus Ericsson to overtake Rosenqvist, then we've got the P6, number 6 in P6. And Pato, no, going from there. Well, if Pato overtakes Josef Newgarden, we can have the number 2 car in P2.
Yeah.
Completely irrelevant things. No kind of influence on the race whatsoever, but just fun little things.
Comes out. David Malukas is still a free agent for next year, isn't he?
I believe he is. So Palou does go, and he's got sponsorship.
He does.
I wonder where he might end up.
I wonder. The McLaren could have 4 seats. Could be a McLaren ride.
Penske have run 4. I mean, Malukas does bring funding to it.
Yep.
There's enough sponsorship links for Penske to kind of pull that in. And I see Malukas as a Penske style driver for sure. He already gets on like a house on fire with Scott McLaughlin and Josef Newgarden.
For sure.
So that would be the one where I go watch this space. I have no links. Malukas knows where he's going. Absolutely. Do you know where he's going, Scott? Do you know? Because I don't know. I know. I guess I can put aside my Callum Ilott koozie. Yeah. Plus, the Reds fall off too fast. It will wreck the fuel windows. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Is that? Yeah, Newgarden was on the Reds as well. So it's both of these guys kind of really pushing hard on them. I guess that's maybe why they found this extra pace. I mean, I know they're quick on ovals anyway, but if that is genuinely just purely tyre compound pace, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. There's that much of an advantage from the black primaries. But then we see Palou running in Reds and he's just stuck. Just stuck in P8. Hasn't made any real progress. So is it tyre compounds? Is it just the ability to run in clean air like Newgarden and Pato are doing? Yeah.
It'd be interesting one, Scott, if it's Malukas to Andretti as a stopover to Roger Penske, as it would be probably seeing the end of Devlin DiFrancesco's IndyCar career, which the highlight was when he took the lead at the Indy GP.
The greatest opening lap overtake of the season.
Absolutely. And then he restored his way to normal Devlin DiFrancesco ways. Sadly for him. But yeah, Devlin, there was still hope on him. They committed very early to him, Andretti. I know obviously the money probably does help, but I think they did have a lot more faith in him than what he's shown. But yeah, Devlin just hasn't found any sort of way here. But just looking here back on track, but the fight between two young American talents in Colton Herta and David Malukas. Herta's done really well here, probably using his experience and to keep Malukas behind, because Malukas definitely felt like he had the run on Colton Herta to overtake. Devlin's Indy GP was a microcosm, absolutely. Malukas to Andretti, methinks. A lot of people thinking Malukas to Andretti. Go was trying to sign up to Motorsport app for the Super Formula, but it's been a pain in the rear spoiler, so we'll have to do it after the race. Sorry, pal.
I think you've got to October to the final round.
Yeah, there are quite a big gaps between the races, aren't there?
Yeah.
So it is difficult to kind of get momentum and into the series, to be fair, but it is still very good kind of one-off seasons. But yeah, the St. Louis 500K, lap 92 of 260. Josef Newgarden leads as he has led pretty much every lap of the race so far, bar obviously the ones in the pit window where I think it was Dixon that kind of led the laps under kind of pit stop windows. But yeah, Josef Newgarden has convincingly led this race so far. He's won 4 out of the 5 oval races so far this season. Can he make it 5? I think he can.
I think
but
he can
Pato,
too.
But Pato is the one who's pushed him hardest. But even Pato, even Pato has kind of dropped a little bit here. On Championship Watch, I'm assuming this isn't enough for Palou.
It was down to 75.
Okay. So where does Palou need to finish to win the championship?
I presume first with Newgarden crashing.
Would it? Because there's only 2 races after this, so that's a maximum of 100 points.
Well, bonus points.
Like maximum of what? 105 potentially? 104, 106. It's not massively. So what you're saying, the gap to Palou in the championship is 75 at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. Scott McLaughlin, you know what to do.
Dun, dun,
Da,
dun,
da,
dun.
da, 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 da. Ah, jump, 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 jump in the wall. No, far too risky. And I'm going for now. Malocus is just stalking Herter at this point. Curious when stops happen. Yeah, and Roman Grosjean has come in.
Is that Grosjean?
So that is
That is
massively
Grosjean.
early on the red. So either Grosjean has completely burnt out those tyres, or the pit window is going to make strategy really interesting for the sticker reds. If that is how long it lasts, I guess we've got to see how long it lasts on Newgarden Award. Realistically, we should get to around lap 120, 125. Maybe potentially, between 120 and 130 for the next kind of pit window. But yeah, no, looks like this is the kind of opening of the pit window for the Reds. So that is 20 laps short at the moment. So that's, yeah, the window is nowhere near. If Palou shows up the rest of the year, it's all but his. Absolutely. Like, Palou doesn't even need to be at his best to win this championship now. And I think we've all pretty much come to terms that Palou's won the championship. There were some big moments earlier in the season where it could have gone against him, but yeah, and as soon as Newgarden crashed his front wing into the side of, I can't remember who it was, in Indy GP, I think that was the championship race. An unlikely one, done and dusted for sure. But yeah, lap 100 of 260 here. Newgarden leads, Award second, Herter P3, Malukas P4, Rosenqvist P5. Rounding off your top 10, you've got Ericsson in P6, Rossi P7, Palou P8, McLaughlin 9, and VK 10. Will Power just outside the top 10 in P11 with Dixon in 12. Obviously, those two guys ran very deep into it. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Takuma's going slow again? Is that Takuma?
Yeah, it's a surprise that he's still in. Has he tapped? Has he had some contact with Santino Ferrucci there? No. Is Ferrucci trying to do that? Oh, and then great move. That was great racing from Santino Ferrucci. Got to be said. And then, yeah, I don't know. Sato just didn't really seem to turn.
Yeah.
Maybe got caught in a bit of an aero wash.
Well, no, because he lost all power.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe he's having something with his gearbox. But yeah, maybe someone can let us know what's going on. I'm afraid that Taki San is going to crash Marcus Armstrong's car. Absolutely. So Will Power has pitted really early here. Interesting. I guess they're going because the guys who were on reds. So Pato's also in. Pato is in. This has really, I would say, thrown a spanner in the works on the strategy because, yeah, this is massively early for the pit window. But I guess, Will Power was on the sticker reds.
Who got us in? 1 lap later than Pato.
Looks a clean stop for the number 2 crew.
Oh, no, they pit at the same time. Wait, no.
Alexander Rossi is coming in.
Rossi.
And Alex Palou. So even the guys who are on the black primaries are coming in because I guess you can't really risk yellow flag pit stops. So yeah, this is completely throwing stuff all over the place, to be fair.
This is carnage. This is actually carnage.
Which is great. This is what is great about oval racing. This race strategy is all over the place. And especially if this stays green, we're going to have some really weird strategies coming in.
Look where Newgarden's come out of. Right behind the battle between Herter and Malukas.
He's not going to get caught here. So Pato is right behind it. He would have had an extra lap to kind of get up to speed. So now it's going to be his...
That wasn't Pato.
Oh, that was Rosenqvist.
Yep.
Again in Pato's car.
I'm not sure that isn't Grosjean, but I'm not sure about Grosjean's green livery. I'm just going to put it out there. I know stuff's happening on track, but it's just... I
not
just
sold
want to
on it.
express it's a bit of a weak green.
Okay. Well, and you are entitled to that opinion.
But Pato's lost out massively, surely, to Newgarden, because I don't even know where Newgarden is here. Is he that car in front?
Yeah, he is. He's just got to.
Of Rossi?
He's got to hope that his teammate Rosenqvist is going to get out of the way here, because the good thing is for him, Newgarden is being held up by that fight, like you said, between Herta and Malukas. So Newgarden's going to get around him. There you go.
It's got tinge. It's like he's still got that blue tinge to Felix's livery. I'm all about livery talk.
Stephen is all about the livery talk. What's going on track? Who cares? Let's go back to Livery Watch with Stephen. Updates, please.
Well, Felix is gone with a much darker livery. Oh no, Pato's coming up on Newgarden. As Newgarden goes defensive on the inside, Pato lines up the move on the outside. Can't make it, but Newgarden is still stuck behind little Dave. Look at these as the 4 quickest cars on track. They're on different laps. But this is bad news for Josef. He just wants clean air. He just wants to check out. He's had the quickest car all race. But when he's in a roadblock here, with Malukas on the more worn out black primary tyres, there's a clear pace differential, but not enough for Newgarden to barge his way through. Opening the door for Pato, and here comes a Carpenter.
Oh, and that is going to irritate Newgarden even more. Although, he's managed to get his way in there.
Pato!
Ed Carpenter's got in the way there. He doesn't hold up too much, but that's massive. That's probably cost Pato a couple of seconds there, and Felix tried to lunge through. Everyone wants to kind of not be held up. But Ed Carpenter's managed to come out of the pits and be slower. But I guess it's just where his car is at the moment. Pato just got picked. Absolutely.
He's going to come right back onto this because Connor Daly's now in the mix.
Although it looks like that Newgarden is going to find... Well, I was going to say he was going to find a way past Malukas, but Malukas still going there. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've chosen the wrong time to go on that red stint.
Is coming off.
We're only going to know when Herta and Malukas come in, when they do their red tyre stints, how it's all going to pay off. But yeah, we've got Dixon running in P4 at the moment. Obviously, he's got a pit.
Jeez.
Very interesting indeed. So yeah, little Dave is going to go on to the red tyre stint. And Newgarden does find his way past Herta because Herta goes into pit row. Okay, so now the boys have got a little bit of clean air in front of him. Now what can they do?
Geez, that Ed Carpenter really cost Pato. He would have loved to have made a move whilst Newgarden was struggling in traffic. But now he's going to have to do all the hard work back on track.
Exactly. And I just cannot wait and see. We're less than halfway through this race. I cannot wait to see how this is just going to affect strategy. It's mad. Is that Colton? Has he gone on to the sticker reds or is he on the black primaries? No. Colton's saving the reds to the last stint. So is he just going to go deep and try and make that last stint as short as possible and be on a quicker compound then? Quite now, different tyre compounds on ovals are done. Love it, Scott.
Yeah.
It has completely thrown the pit windows. Completely thrown it.
Have that dramatic difference, 60 laps to 30 laps, is a little bit too much. But we'll see. We'll see where this all unfolds. As Palou makes a nice move on the inside of Dixon. Machine that's to unlap himself as Dixon remains. Wait, or was that? Who was that?
There was an interesting one from Power. How he just decided to sack in that strategy of going deeper on the overcuts for it. I mean, he's almost overtaken Scott Dixon again.
No, but they're a lap down. These guys.
Yeah, but Dixon is not a lap down.
Dixon's leading.
Yeah.
This is a point in ovals I get confused of where people are on track. Yeah, I presume they're unlapping them. Oh wait, yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea what is going on. We're going to need to have like a timing sheets. It is carnage when working through traffic. That is the only thing with green flag driving thing. Until everyone is pitted, there is no point trying to guess where everyone is on it. Other issues, lack of testing due to weather. Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't having different tyre compounds just add to the overall cost? They do. Looks like Felix is racing for his seat. He is. It sounds like Felix is still quite a popular option on the grid, though, that if he does leave Aaron McLaren, kind of feels like someone else is going to put him in a seat, surprisingly, for me.
Well, haven't Rahal and Lanigan got a seat available?
They do indeed.
We haven't really spoken about that because it's been less of a driver change, but
And
Jack
also-
Harvey has lost his seat for next year.
And also Maya Shank.
Wait, has Jack Harvey been immediately dropped?
Yeah.
Ah. I didn't realise there was an immediate
Yeah, he's out.
boot out the door.
He's gone. Who is running for that? It's Connor Daly, isn't it?
Yes.
So Connor Daly's all the way up in 18th at the moment. So not a bad showing from him, to be fair.
Well, I think he's the highest of the Rahal Edmonds.
This is a really interesting one from Dixon.
You're trying to work out if it's going to work.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, I thought that at the Indy GP.
True.
And then it did work.
Somehow he's leading the race.
Yeah, I would say out of the strategies, Scott Dixon's is the most interesting at the moment. Everyone else is pretty similar, and Newgarden and O'Ward are still pretty much there or thereabouts. Just absolutely cruising it.
Is he going to try to do... Oh, caution!
Oh, no. And that has absolutely stuffed Dixon. And Don called
What's
it.
this guy doing,
Sato.
man?
Takuma Sato was going to crash Marcus Armstrong's car. Please park it, Taku. Oh.
What's this guy do? They had problems. They clearly had problems two times in this race. And now he's pinned it. It's a joke.
Steven's gone. I'm out. Not going to stand for it. Now. This benefits the people who have pitted. So if Dixon's alternative strategy was interesting, I've well and truly just jinxed it there because he's going to struggle. He is going to struggle unless he still can make it kind of work. The only thing is a caution can maybe kind of help him gain a pit stop on everyone else. But I kind of feel like this could completely ruin Scott's race. Because if he's on the verge on fuel numbers, he's only going to be able to come in for a splash of fuel, and then he's going to have to come in again on this one. But yeah.
Do you want some corn?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's have some corn. Now Joseph has no comp. 3-stop is pretty much ruined. Absolutely, Joe. Has Sato crashed in every race so far? I don't know, but it kind of feels like that. You're right, Mike. Dixon will cycle to the back. Yeah, it is absolutely, which is a shame because like I was saying before the caution flag did come out, that was the most interesting. I think it was basically Newgarden and O'Ward, with Newgarden probably coming out on top for there. But Dixon, if he could have saved a pit stop, and if there's anyone who can do it, it is Scott Dixon. That would have been an interesting one, and he's on the red tyres. But yeah, unless there is another kind of caution around about the pit window for the other guys, I don't see there's any way of Dixon getting back in this race, which means that Newgarden needs Palou to crash out. So, in celebration for the King of Corn Country and King of the Ovals, Josef Newgarden will have some corn.
Corn, 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 corn. Do you think they're going to clean the high line? I think it's going to be a long caution.
It always kind of feels like it might be a long caution. And there he is. Yeah, this is Stuff Dixon.
Is this emergency pit stop?
Yeah, I'll have to be, won't it? This won't be one where he's allowed to do tyre stops, is it?
It depends.
I have cornflakes, if that counts. Absolutely. Have you corn, Mike?
Corn,
absolutely,
corn,
Don.
corn,
we have corn. We have a poster. We've got it all.
Pit window was open. And the
Newgarden pits. Newgarden pits. Wow, maybe Dixon's not cooked.
So Newgarden just took a splash of fuel? Or was that tyres as well?
Must have been tyres as well. That's an interesting one.
Oh, below!
No.
Below!
No.
Ericsson.
Ericsson.
Oh, dear.
Ericsson. Everyone was fearing it there. Everyone thought it, but no, look at the number, guys. It's the number 8 car. It's the number 8 car. Calm it down. Calm yourself. You don't have a championship fight.
I believe. What did he do, the Muppet? Whee! Bomb. Hey, tyre wasn't on. Rear left tyre was not on.
And they are lucky that they made that mistake on Marcus Ericsson's car and not Alex Palou's, eh?
Sure. Jeez. Well, not sure where the timing sheets are, but possibly hasn't lost out all that much. But we may just not be seeing. No, yeah, because that's Grosjean in the wheat green.
Absolutely, he's lost out big time. He's
Well,
crashed.
That's only P13.
He's lost a tyre and put it in a wall.
Yeah. That's the 30-second.
Ignore the timing sheets for now.
Yeah.
Other than because Pato stayed out.
I think he's legit only P13 though.
Canapino hit Malukas in the pits, someone said. Oh no, Canapino, don't ruin little Dave's race. He's having a great race.
Yeah, but tell you what, Canapino's P7. The guy started last.
Yeah, that's actually not bad for Grosjean.
That's legit P7 for Augustin Canapino. He started last.
Sorry, Stephen, are you quite impressed by Augustin Canapino's performance today? I wasn't really telling
And
what
the
the
one
advantage
incident
was.
he's been involved in, I haven't called him out on.
Oh, the IndyCar app has in-car cameras. Bal, are you just discovering this? Stephen's there.
You can literally watch the race for free on a onboard of your choice.
Yeah.
I don't think you get any timer sheets or anything like that.
So you just got to pick the right car to follow.
That's basically, yeah.
But yeah, it does look like they're sweeping the high line. So we are at the halfway point of the St. Louis 500k, a race here at Bonamarito Gateway race. It's a fantastic one. You can see those grandstands absolutely packed. People love the race here at Gateway. What do we reckon, guys? What do we reckon of the race so far? Looks like Graham Rahal's crew are ready to kind of bring him in as well.
So Dixon is legit leading this race. Have
Yeah.
we come to that conclusion? That's all checked off?
Well, no. Pato is legit leading this race.
No, because he pitted as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes. Legit.
I'm watching a race now.
Which means I'm watching the race. No!
No, but it's free!
No,
It's free!
Don't do that! Copyright strike. What's wrong with you?
That's it. That's Indy Fanatics gone. Oh, I even missed Takuma's spin. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Jeez, that was close.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who was that? Carl, yeah.
Carl!
Carl Kirkwood! Right. So, yeah, what do we all think of the race so far? It's been, oh, look, we've got another one. So, Palou pits. Okay. It's an interesting one.
Doom, 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 doom.
Are we sure that's not Pato?
No, Pato definitely pitted. That's Felix.
Ericsson's pitting again.
Did you not hear the livery watch earlier?
Ericsson's pitting again, or we had to do a drive-through penalty.
No, that's Palou.
No. Ericsson went through the pits again.
Oh, was it because he binned it? Oh, they probably got punished because they didn't put the tyre on. Unsafe
I guess the
release.
championship will have to wait to Portland. I guess so, Don.
Well, we still got half a race to go. Anyone can bin it. You got him.
Palou. Then I'll just have to wear my Hello Palou shirt for the next race. And the race after that. And the race after that.
The race.
And then that's the end of the season.
Ah! Ah! Felix and Herta nearly came together.
There was. Felix and Hurt are getting very close with each other. But Stephen's acting like he's just seen a ghost.
I don't like it. It was a McLaren, okay?
Stephen's still thinking that we're in COVID times and that they need to maintain a social distance of 2 meters. 2 meters! No! 2 meters! Make it stop! Make it stop!
Oh, here we go.
So, Scott Dixon leads this race. He somehow managed to strategize himself into the lead here, which seems really weird because I felt like the caution had kind of completely stuffed this strategy, but then everyone else seemed to pit, which kind of seemed to validate Scott Dixon's strategy. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold off Josef Newgarden.
Whoa, wave round. The pack had not punched. Punched? The pack had not punched.
So interestingly, Palou is now down in 14th. And closest championship contender, Dixon, now leads the race.
Palou is behind teammate Ericsson, who went through the pit twice during that caution period.
Yeah, all those people who had to pit on a second time round have massively lost out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Palou started B14, right? See back where he started. It's been 130 laps, 250 kilometers, and Palou has made zero progress.
And green. Scott Dixon leads us to the green
Oh.
flag. Pato Ward's having a look at Newgarden. He goes on the outside. Newgarden shuts the door. Little Dave and Scott McLaughlin going side by side. I think McLaughlin's made the move stick. And also we've got Canapino going wheel to wheel with someone. I think it's maybe
contact. Oh, there was a little bit of contact there between Newgarden and Pato. Both survive.
That could have ended nasty, but these guys are going to go hell for leather. They know restart's a great time to be able to get track position.
Meanwhile, Scott Dixon is just checking out. He's like, you two can play. I'm going to win. Back to back.
Scott Dixon. The guy, when we say there are calls for Scott Dixon to retire, you look at
Scott McLaughlin and Little Dave come so close.
Social distancing. More action.
Wearing the face mask.
Be careful.
Jeez.
Sanitize the cars.
Oh my God. They both survived though. And Malukas. Paul's clear of the New Zealander. Scotty Mac.
Unbelievable. It's been great wheel-to-wheel racing. Everyone knows that restarts are a great opportunity to kind of make your move sticks. That's why Ward's going so hard on Newgarden. He's still very much on the tail of Newgarden. But like Stephen said, Dixon's loved that because it's allowed him to get a little bit of gap and space here. And yeah, like I was saying, in terms of, those people who call for Dixon to retire, last time's race out, and even if he doesn't win this race, the strategy to get himself from where he was in a position to win this race is still pretty spectacular. I mean, I know we've still got 100, and Dixon's run the red tyre as well. So he doesn't have to kind of go on to a shorter stint later on in the race. It's crazy.
Championship watch, Palou is already +3 after that restart.
And Stephen has lost out on Canapino, but you know who genuinely is running in the top 10? Santucci, number 8. Someone asked, what can Santino do today? Well, as things currently stand, P8. Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive.
Palou's moved back up to P11. But now he has the other Penske driver behind him. Da-dum.
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 Da-da-da-da.
Exactly. Go 14. Absolutely. Castro Neves needs to move.
Where is... Oh, yeah. Castro Neves was the lap car at the front, isn't he? Is he roadblocking?
He may be. Well, I guess he wants to stay on the lead lap. But he's already a lap down, realistically, he should just get out of the way.
He ain't catching the leaders to unlap himself, is he? We haven't seen... Is he in front of Rossi? Is that where the roadblock is?
Potentially.
It looks like that on the timing sheets. That's where I'd put Eddie.
Yeah, it seems to maybe have halted Pato, I want to say, because the gap's got quite big between himself and Newgarden, as Newgarden now maybe starts to rein Dixon in a little bit. I think we take for granted how good Newgarden is on short ovals. Because no matter who gets in front of him...
That was a significant hit. Well, they were both lucky to keep going there. That was naughty from Newgarden because he's squeezing Pato into the wall there.
If Santino Ferrucci is still at AJ Foyt next year, and they have a technical partnership with Penske at the 500, then Santino Ferrucci is a very big contender for the 500 win next year, for sure.
Whoa! Scott Dixon if he wins this race, will become Alex Palou's main title rival with 69 points.
He already is.
Well, no. If Newgarden leads, then Newgarden's the main title
I
rival.
bet going into this race, Dixon was.
Well,
because of Newgarden's accident at IndyGP last time out.
there we go. So it's
we go.
For the title, it's pretty good that Dixon's winning.
It is. I don't think he can make these many points up on. Although Portland, I think, is a track he's good at. Laguna Seca, though, if there's any track that if Palou needed to do something in the last race, he would probably want it to be that track with how dominant he was there in the season finale last year.
I would say Palou's also very good at Portland.
Yeah. But so is Dixon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don, it's not impossible, but very, 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 very unlikely. Dixon is no threat to Palou. Palou is playing Dixon's game, just better. Shots. Absolutely. But I think there's still respect to what Dixon's doing. I think Palou, arguably though, right, let's put some things into perspective. Newgarden has driven a pretty flawless season, but at IndyGP, the one thing that could go wrong for him went wrong, and he got involved in an accident that kind of put him back, and he wasn't able to compete in the race. Palou has somehow managed to finish a race with half a front wing. At Nashville, he had a caution for the perfect time. The red flag fall at a perfect time for him, where he was running out of fuel and was going to need to pit, which massively would have affected it. So, yes, Palou has played Dixon's game better, but also you need some luck to go your way in the championship, and Palou has made his own luck. But there has definitely been elements here, and also there was a late caution, wasn't there, at the second Iowa one that saw him go from P5 up into the podium. Not massive point swing, but still, like, you know, those little ones that you go, oh man, really? Like Newgarden would have thought, wow, what a great weekend for the championship, and then still sees the bloke that he's chasing down on the podium next to him when he's been nowhere there all weekend. I remember when that Power choked in 2013. Yeah, Palou doesn't have the choker feeling to me. But if there is any sort of bad luck that can happen to him in the last two races, you kind of feel like he's going to run out. Although his front wing is running very close here to Colton Herta. Palou trying to make the move. He lunges up. You know he's got to be really careful. He's brave. He's brave. Herta gives him the room. And he makes the move stick. Moves up into the top 10.
On the outside, though, into turn one. Oh, does he chop him? No. And Palou will stick it on the inside. But Herta will have another run on the outside. He's getting great exits using the high line. Palou having to sacrifice a little momentum to go the short way round, but secures the move with the inside line on turns 3 and 4. Into the top 10. As it looks like this could be the start of Herta's downfall of the stint, as we have seen for the last 2 stints.
And it's interesting here, actually. If Newgarden does win, obviously Dixon's running in first there, but if Newgarden, he looks like he's got the pace to win and does win here, this would mean that he's got more wins than Palou this season as well, doesn't he? Because I'm pretty sure Palou has 4 wins and Newgarden has 5 if he wins today.
Wow.
It just shows how consistent Palou has been.
Yeah.
It appears the Andretti team is a little bit off the pace today. Is that for this season or just today, Don? No, obviously
Is that for this decade or is that for this race?
in street courses, they have been good. Power has choked more times than in 13. He does. I know. I was winding you up, Don, but yeah, I don't know with Andretti. It just, yeah, they're short oval pace. They just don't really have it, do they?
No. Not at all. As Newgarden's per second between him and Pato, as he looks to launch his assault on Scott Dick. Whoa! Timing sheets? Timing sheets are fun. Why did like Newgarden just take the lead?
Whoa! Timing sheets! Timing sheets! Whoa!
Oh, Pillow's leading. Oh, no. Pillow's leading. Why is the timing sheets?
Timing sheets are going mental.
Got about half a second.
They're giving Stephen a heart attack. But Newgarden does look like he's getting a run on Dixon now.
Yeah. This is where it's at.
You kind of feel with 100 laps to go, Newgarden will have Dixon's number at some point in this race.
We're only looking at one more pit stop. Moves have got to be started to make. You can't just afford to sit behind someone's slipstream. You got to start making gains on track. Setting yourself up for a last stop dash. VK is a bit of a surprise top tenner in P7.
Yeah, Ryan Hunter-Ray, I think you're right there, Scott. Departure did hurt the team quite a lot. It was probably the right time for him to go, so I'm just chucking stuff everywhere. But yeah, Grosjean, in hindsight, wasn't the right replacement.
I literally hoovered yesterday.
Well, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. But less than 100 laps to go. 98 laps to go here at Gateway. Dixon leads. And is that...
I'm seeing double!
I saw it and I was waiting for him to make the joke. But it's happened. Palou is on the back of teammate Ericsson. From there, as Stephen is seeing double because Ericsson is in Palou's spare car after a crash with Will Power in practice last night. But they are both behind the AJ Foyt car of Santino Ferrucci, who's running a very good race. As I said that of seeing double, we do have that element of it where we've just seen the highlight. Again, Marcus Ericsson looking cheesed off, going, yeah, I can't wait to drive for Andretti. Now, Marcus, in fairness to Marcus, Andretti are very good at the street courses, and so is Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah.
So he could definitely get some race wins there. But if he was looking for another Indy 500, wrong move.
No, Pitters.
So that is Pato.
Can they do one more stop? This is going to be 2 more stops. That's been way too ambitious. It seems like pit stops are now gone to 30-lap pit windows. This is mental. Our first one was 60 laps, and now we're down to 30 laps.
Yeah, it will be interesting on the sponsorship front, Alex. That's true. I imagine it's the DHL one because that 28 car has run the DHL one for so long. But yeah, I don't know.
Newgarden yet again does 1 extra lap than Pato and then pits. Dixon looks to go long, or will we see Dixon in a couple of laps' time?
Dixon surely has to pit next lap to cover this off. He's on the back straight. Dixon stays out. Interesting strategy here. Chip Ganassi have done stuff different all day to Team Penske. It's got them in the lead of this race. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they can see it through. I guess they are going to have to do something a little bit different because matching the same strategy, Newgarden has the quicker car.
Well, you say that, but the last 30 laps, Newgarden hasn't been able to challenge. Well, he's been within a half second, but...
Palou's in the pits. Palou's out the pits, all clean. Malukas is in the pits. All clean pit stop for Malukas as well. Why are some teams better at certain types of circuits like street circuits than the other types? Not really sure. I imagine it's just on the technical data that they have, the car setups they carry across. They just have found car setups that work really well with their current crop of drivers. Information, obviously, Penske are good everywhere because they have the most data compared to everyone. They have the most history and most wins within the series. So that's probably where it adds up on that front. But
Chip are good everywhere.
I know from the aero screen era, obviously, when we spoke to Colton Herta, he just said that they found something on the street circuits that they were able to, and the setups, they're comfortable to take that wherever they go. It just it seems that obviously you've seen that with Cole Kirkwood and his victories this year, and you've seen that in Colton Herta with victories in the past on that format. I guess also it can be what teams prioritize, especially some of the smaller teams. They may kind of prioritize different types of tracks compared to it's a difference. Obviously, AJ Foyt have very much targeted just the Indy 500 this year. I guess that's the easiest way to invest money into the team. Win the Indy 500, you can earn massive amounts of money for winning that race. And then you can put that back into the race team and try and make yourself more competitive throughout the season. Although that hasn't necessarily worked out with Meyershank. In fact, it's probably worked the opposite with them. But yeah, in theory, it should go. But yeah.
For the first time this race, Pato is ahead of Josef Newgarden as Dixon continues to go long.
Now, Dixon is going to hope. I don't know what Dixon's game is here. I guess technically Dixon's strategy
one stop
was trying to still gain on a stop from everyone else.
Yeah, he's got to do another 30 laps.
But the pit window at the caution was that, so he was on his strategy.
Yeah, so why not match? It's wild.
Yeah,
he's still going alternative.
But I guess, like we were saying, the alternative, if the alternative works out and he does manage to get an extra pit on those guys, then he easily wins the race. It's not a contest.
Yeah. Even Pato and Newgarden are going to have complete freedom with their attacks. But a whole pit stop? Not going to stand a chance against Dixon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely not. It's there. F1 fans are too far on their own to appreciate any other types of racing. I think racing fans would appreciate this type of racing. I think if you don't look into oval racing and you don't understand it, you may think, why are you just watching guys race around in circles? But obviously we know there's so much more to oval racing. There's so many overtakes. There's, so much more depth to this type of racing than just turning left 4 times a lap. And go for it. Cool poster behind you guys. Nice addition. It was done. That was thanks to Scott. So yeah, again, shout out to Scott for the poster. Really appreciate it for sharing. There, Stephen's kind of working his way through the grid as it currently stands. From now, oval racing is just very different from road racing. On ovals, you must be inch perfect all the time. Absolutely. Margin for error is so minimal on this. But yeah, Dixon, very interesting. If he gets to lap 200,
race over.
Yeah.
The race for 5 will be over.
It will be. stopped by Scott Dixon, the man himself. Well, maybe, everyone else was just admiring Dixon's strategy to see if he could pull it off. And they were like, Newgarden and Pato went, hell, we'll pit just to make it, still work. This caution, you don't deserve for your strategy to be ruined by that. We'll pit at the same time. No, you do you, Dixon. Can you make that work?
Did Penske just get spooked by the wrong driver?
Yeah.
Did they go, we need to cover off Pato, and not realise you can go long? Like Dixon showed.
Well, Dixon is one of the best in the game at fuel conservation, to be fair.
True.
And clearly at the moment, he's in a little bit of a mojo with things because, obviously at Indy GP2, he had to make that fuel strategy work and, just made that work an absolute dream in that case as well. But, and I know Scotty's just Scotty doing Scott things. I think whatever you have to say is, obviously, we came into IndyCar watching it 2020 more towards the back end of Scott Dixon's career. That was his 6th and final championship to date so far. It would be very tough for him to win a 7th one, but not impossible because he is still capable of winning races. But, I think watching people like Will Power, watching people like Scott Dixon, Castro Neves winning that kind of Indy 500 in 2021, it is, really good to see amazing drivers for as long as we can.
Yes. I wasn't following the... There was some weird thing going on with the graphics that they were overlaying.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
I think you're picking up Scott Dixon.
Yeah.
So
I was just saying it's nice to watch these legends of the sport while we still can. And he's still being competitive as well.
So I'll stick with my answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Dixon will still need 2 more stops. I guess that's what's kind of coming across on commentary.
Will he though? If he gets to 200, then it's 1 stop to go. Well, I mean 0 stops. Especially if there's a late caution, which is on an oval. People will send it. There's probably going to be a late caution. Oh, Josef Newgarden is right on the tail of Pato, looking to retake the position that Pato won under the undercut. As there is traffic everywhere. We're in traffic central.
I doubt he can make it to 200. I doubt too. But I don't know. Is the honest answer. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's interesting. More likely, Dixie needs only 1 more if he hits his fuel number. Look, all I'm saying is there's been a lot of people who probably betted against Scott Dixon's strategy, including Newgarden and Pato, because they're doing theirs. Dixon's got a very hard strategy to do, but can he make it work? If there's anyone it's Scott Dixon can make this work. Like I said, fresh off the back of Indy GP2, I think that's...
Oh, Devlin, what a move! I think he was unlapping himself against Malukas. That was a quality move from Devlin.
It was indeed.
Go on, Dev. The last of the Canadians. See, next year may have a Canadian-less grid.
What sad times, eh? What sad times. Is this a COVID race? Huge and empty grandstands.
They packed the main one.
I did notice it at Iowa. Iowa, we did struggle for attendance, didn't we? And that's the big issue of where we lost out on oval races before. its fans. And on road courses and street courses, it's really easy to hide how many fans actually attend the race. But for ovals, it's a very glaring and obvious thing if you do have empty grandstands. So yeah, it's not ideal. It's Scott Dixon. He could win a race without even pitting, and I wouldn't be surprised. Absolutely. The man's done it so many times before. So many times before. He's only got to find 9 laps.
9 laps? Even that. Go to 195 and you could probably still do it.
Yeah. Just eke an extra one out of it. I mean, I think Scott's hit the numbers, personally. So, again, 2 races in a row, he's driven a fantastic strategy that everyone just probably is going to go, wow. I don't know what strategy Grosjean's on. Is Grosjean matching it? Is there a potential podium for Grosjean?
You're 24 seconds behind Dixon.
Yeah, but is it potentially a podium for him, though?
The only thing I would consider is I was going to say, has Grosjean finished an oval race this year? But he did get back-to-back finishes around Iowa.
Absolutely. You were very proud of him. I'm surprised you've forgotten. You're such a proud...
that's why I just remembered it.
Proud parent moment of it.
Yeah. It was a big thing. It was like, will Pedersen complete 10 laps and will Grosjean finish a race?
Exactly.
Both happened.
Both happened.
Unfortunately, today, Pedersen didn't complete 10 laps. So, unfortunately, that may mean Grosjean may not finish race. I'm not sure if they're going hand to hand, but we'll see.
So, Newgarden here is lining up Pato, remembering what Stephen said.
What? Have you seen 68 laps this stint has been for Scott Dixon?
That's mammoth, man. That is mega. I stand corrected. Dixon will only pit once more.
And he's only got 65 laps left of this race. He only has to do 3 less than his current stint if he pits this lap. And he's not pitting this lap. He's going in overtime.
Dixon. Jeez.
He may not pit again.
There we go. Bam. This was the last time out. Crushing Graham Rahal's dreams of winning a first race since 2017. That was tough on Rahal, to be fair, but what a race from Dixon. That was last time out.
He's in. The man is in. He will have to do 63 laps. On the green, it's going to be a stretch. 1 caution, and it's an absolute breeze.
I don't think it is. He's just done how many? 78?
Some of those were under caution, though. 68, that last stint.
Yeah, but the pit window's 60 to 65, and he did 65 on his first stint.
Yeah. Well, that's still at the max, isn't it?
Yeah, but a whole pit stop around this place.
Yeah.
Like, he's not lost a lot. That's not a massive amount of fuel saving.
No.
To go through there. This is Scott Dixon's race to lose now. And especially if any caution comes out now, it's guaranteed Dixon win. I want to know what strategy Grosjean's on. Does anyone know what strategy Grosjean's on? Because Grosjean, that's his last pit stop.
Yeah.
And he was running P2. So has Grosjean driven a fantastic race?
He was 24 seconds behind, though, so he's more in the clutches.
I think Dixon can make it, and he's on the primaries, but traffic is an issue. It is. Does he need to hope there are no more yellows? I was going to say, like, if there's a yellow, surely that's Scott Dixon wins it. Because Newgarden and O'Ward would just cycle all the way back, wouldn't they? Grosjean is just on a make it round the circuit without crashing strategy. And look at him go! Look at him go, Bao!
I believe in you, Grosjean.
So, We have just hit lap 200. There are 60 laps to go in this St. Louis 500k race. Whew. Literally, we thought... Did I say 600? I meant to say 500k. It's 60 laps to go. Anyway, it looked like it was a shootout between Newgarden and Pato today. Scott Dixon says, no.
Oh, hell no.
I'm in the race today, guys. The timing of the yellows before everyone else pits again, yes. After, no. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Palou's in.
Palou is in. So that is an early pit stop for Alex Palou.
No more stops for Palou.
So this is a big lose out on it. So it does make it interesting here. The championship points. So it very much is Palou's to lose at this stage, but strange things happen in racing. And all it takes is
Stingray.
One engine failure, one mistake, one careless driver taking you out of a race, and Dixon and Newgarden are right back in this championship.
Yeah. Well, if it's 50 points in the last two races, bam. That's very catchable. Especially for Dixon. Those are two strong Dixon tracks. I know Laguna Seca, Palou absolutely dominated last year, putting like 30, 40 seconds in there for him. But two strong tracks for Dixon.
I just, in my head, bar catastrophic, I cannot see Palou finishing outside the top 5 in both those races.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, it will be confirmed at...
But has he used all his good luck? Will he finally catch some bad luck?
It is indeed. It just makes it interesting. It does just make it interesting. And regardless of what's said, Palou is very focused on track, but even the most focused of drivers, surely being sued by a team
second year in a row
cannot be healthy for this stage of a championship. When
change your management team as well.
Exactly. When you don't need many distractions, that is something that can derail you for sure. Newgarden getting very close to Pato here, but Pato driving fantastic to keep Newgarden behind him. 54 laps to go here. Malukas coming in for his last pit stop as well. Looks like it's a clean stop for the Dale Coyne crew. Yes, it is. Good stuff. There we go. Malukas has made it. So now it's just going to be how far can he finish up from there. And Ferrucci, can he finish in the top 10? That would be a great drive for him, to be fair.
Yeah, from the back.
Because he was right at the back as well. Scott McLaughlin coming in for his last pits. He was running in the top 10, I believe, in these last stints. It's going to be interesting to see where everyone comes out. But the big one will be on the lead. Will Dixon's strategy work? Everyone is starting to pit now. So, yeah, for now, Dixon is going to be hoping for green laps because everyone is pitting. But, yeah, Dixon's gone in. Looks like, yep, Newgarden's pit as well. So how much is that gap?
So this time Newgarden's going to go for the undercut on Pato.
Saw it work strong last time, and the undercut has worked here stronger. The only time the overcut has worked in terms of his gaining that extra pit stop from there. It'd be hard to find a good lap to stop. You can't avoid the traffic. Exactly. I have no sympathy for Palou. He did it to himself. Yeah, absolutely. You know, he wanted to go down that route of F1. He poked the bear with Chip Ganassi when McLaren let him down. And look, I'll be honest with you, I don't think McLaren... I thought McLaren were running not great as a team. It's worked out for Oscar Piastri in F1 for sure.
Got a pit, surely, Pato.
But it was a very unlikely thing for Palou to be making his way into F1 with McLaren. Has to be said. And if he was running an IndyCar, McLaren is definitely not a team that you'd be wanting to switch to from Chip Ganassi, that's for sure. Joe New out. Joe New out? Out the race? What's happened?
Ah! Joe New out.
Josef Newgarden out. Wow. Wow.
That would have been devastating for Pato if that caused a caution.
Palou versus Dixon. That's what it is. Josef Newgarden.
And the race for 5 is over.
The race for 5 is
We
over.
thought this year was going to be the one and only year a driver would sweep the ovals, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know what has happened there. It just
Was the suspension finally gone? If that was what I was complaining about early doors. Scotty Mac? The Penske's are falling apart.
What is going
the
on?
cars are breaking. Pato's finally in the pits, worried that Penske's going to put it in a wall.
He's got to bring it in, hasn't he, Scotty McLaughlin here? He can't stay out.
He's going. Maybe he's just had a moment. Maybe there isn't a problem there.
Damn, I feel for Josef Newgarden because he's been so good in the championship, and he has had no luck in the championship fights.
No.
No, all his rivals, that's gone his way. And when something goes wrong, when he's leading in strong positions, like it's not even like when he's leading in strong positions, something goes wrong with his car. Man, that is tough. But, you know, the guy's won the Indy 500 this year, so he's not going to be too gutted for it. But, yeah, in terms of the championship, Newgarden just...
Question is, what is this gap going to look like?
He cannot catch a break.
Between Pato and Dixon.
Those were a weird couple of laps. They really were. Newgarden just dug a bloody big hole for himself, but it's game over. Realistically. 44 laps to go. I don't think Newgarden's strategy is going to beat Dixon now. Rossi and Hurt are still to pit. Dixon's won, but is that right?
Is what right?
Well, are all those cars ahead of Pato, or do they all need to pit as well? I feel like Power needs to pit for sure. Pato or Dixon's lucky day? I'm going to go with Scott Dixon. He's made the numbers work.
I wonder if that is suspect, because I'd be very out of character if that's drive error.
Bourdais was the only drive to sweep the ovals in 2006.
Car just weren't done.
That year, Champ Car's race at Milwaukee was the only oval. Okay, Don. So, yeah, this was probably the only chance for it to happen to a driver where there's been multiple oval races on the calendar, shall we say. Jovi was already in a big hole. This put dirt on top of it. Absolutely. It's buried. It has buried him. I hope Rossi has a good finish. Deserves it. Yeah, driven a good race. He's this has been much more an Alexander Rossi that we're used to seeing, certainly racing, and it's good to see him as well. You know, not being plagued by issues that he was at Andretti. It just wasn't working for him and Andretti anymore. And Rossi still has had issues at Arrow McLaren, and they haven't been perfect for sure, but it's much more the kind of Alexander Rossi that we're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all season. So the gap between Dixon and Pato is 20 seconds. Of course, Pato is going to be much more on attack mode, but it feels too much. 40 laps to go, 20 seconds. Looking at 2 seconds of that.
The caution would have killed him. A caution now would massively assist him.
Yes, that is very true.
39 laps to go. Anything can happen. But if it's green, it's Dixon's race.
it's quite nice that they still got
Newgarden's having a terrible time in pit row. 4 minutes so far.
It's like, come on, guys.
Oh, Joseph.
Let's not kick the puppy. Jeez, yeah. Caution is, I think, the only hope for anyone outside of Dixon. But I say only hope. Dixon's absolutely bossed this race. We don't need a late caution to spice up the excitement because this is just a masterclass.
Yeah, I think that is really right, Scott. Funny thing is that Joseph is good everywhere. It's just overshadowed by how good he is on ovals. Absolutely. Look, Josef Newgarden is a generational talent. He doesn't necessarily have the championship numbers to back that up, but man, he is a hell of a driver. He's a hell of a driver, and yeah, incredible for IndyCar for sure. Power looks good. Does he have to stop again? I'm pretty sure Power does have to stop again, because he didn't match Scott on strategy. He pitted when the likes of Newgarden and Pato pitted.
Power?
Yeah.
Yes, he did, didn't he? Because we were confused why he didn't stick on the Scott Dixon strategy.
But maybe he just didn't believe he could make the numbers work.
Here's Honda versus Chevy. Maybe Honda has the fuel efficiency over on the short ovals.
Do you have to say, though, that Pato is making up a lot of ground quickly? 20 seconds isn't too much. He still has 2 titles and hasn't finished outside the top 5 in points since 2015. Yeah, I know. Look. It's his record isn't. But what I'm saying, Joseph's, like, loads of people would pay to have Josef Newgarden's record. 2 titles, 1 Indy 500 now as well. Like, it is top kind of things. But with how good Josef Newgarden is, he could easily be on 4 or 5 titles now. But that is the fine margins of racing. And like I said, I just don't think in the championships since 2020, he's got the rub of the green. When he needed things to go his way, everything appears to go against him for it.
Scott Dixon's got too much clean air here, really, to be challenged.
Oh, all this pushing, hoping for a yellow for spice things up.
Yeah. I think that's Pato's only hope. Dixon's got too much clean air. The point that he reaches traffic, you have too big a gap to Pato.
32 laps to go.
Well, where's Power? We're pretty confident that Power has to pit again, but does he?
Newgarden's strength is the road courses and the street courses and the ovals. Full screen commercials right now. No, that's killer. Killer for you guys. But as things stand, it's just literally the coverage is Dixon leading. Go from there. Malukas. Well, it is Malukas trying to get past Lundgaard. This looks like it could be a podium for Malukas, I think, as currently stands. Because I think we're banking on that all of Lundgaard, Kirkwood, and Power have to pit.
Yeah. Gap 17 seconds.
30 laps to go here. Yeah, Bow, we don't have commercials. Don't rub it in. 29 laps. So, yeah, Lundgaard pits. So, Kirkwood and Power, we're pretty sure have to pit. If Power somehow doesn't, that's a miracle. And would knock little Dave off the podium.
I feel like he's got to, right?
Surely.
Pato's making no ground. 0 ground has been made on Scott Dixon. Caution or bust.
So I thought you said there was a caution. I was like, oh my God, well, that's just helped him big time. And the closer it gets, literally a caution kills Dixon.
Well, it doesn't. He's still looking incredibly quick.
I guess also a caution, minimum 10 laps, depending on when it comes out.
Well, then we get red flag.
It would allow his fuel numbers to be there. It would just literally be tyre ones and whether he can keep Pato behind.
Yeah.
Pato not going to win. Look, it's IndyCar. It's oval racing. It's confident to go in with your chest with it. Anything can still happen, but it looks very strong for Scott Dixon at this stage. Is a big brain move by Dixon. This 2 races in a row, Chip Ganassi's strategy, unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And he's made it work.
Close for his way back up to P9, closing the gap to 72 points in the championship.
Well, the thing is, Mike Hull is an incredible strategist for sure. But Dixon still has to go out and execute it.
Yeah.
Like the combination of those two, that's the reason why they've been so successful. It's unbelievable. Like, we take these things for granted from Dixon. To hit the fuel numbers that he's done in the past 2 races to kind of make the strategies work. So impressive that he can still do it. But he's been doing it for years. He just knows his car. He knows his team. He knows what he's capable of and knows what the boundaries are that he can push. And to win back-to-back races. Will Alex Palou win the championship? Most likely. But shows what? Dixon's now 43, I want to say.
Something like that.
Age-wise. Yeah, he's still competing up there with the top. Maybe not for the championship, but, man, you just have to say, if Palou in Nashville or in Toronto with that broken wing massively loses out and goes back to the pack, then he's close. He's really close.
He's probably leading.
Yeah, I mean, Palou's got himself into the top 10 here, it looks like. And, well, look, Palou's going to finish, what, P7?
Yes, depending on Power and Kirkwood, yeah.
So it's not going to be a big point swing for Dixon, but it's going to be as big as you can.
Oh, is that Eddie? Eddie having a few moments? Or was that Linus? I didn't see the number.
It's Linus.
Linus, yeah.
Linus from there. But yeah, what a great race, in fairness. 21 laps to go of it still, though. And like we said, anything can still happen. But that's Ericsson making his way past Lundqvist. Unfortunately, Lundqvist, it hasn't kind of worked out for him. Qualified really well, getting into the top 10, but not really him. That Meyer Shank car hasn't really had the pace all year, has it?
It's been horrific. Even at the 500.
This is why I personally do not much like Dixon. He may win, but it's not inspiring. I get that, Scott. Dixon is not flashy. Chip doesn't like flashy drivers. He likes drivers who just win or just consistently perform week in, week out and get themselves in the position to win championships. I get that. From there, Penske has had more of the heroes, the kind of the brash, the stars that you go, God, you got to get behind, like Yellow Castro Neveses of the worlds, the Josef Newgardens, the Will Powers. Did Sam Hornish Jr. end up at Penske? He did, didn't he? I'm going from there, but yeah, the Sam Hornish Juniors of the world. And then that's not even going back to like the likes of the kind of Rick Mears and stuff. So yeah, look, Penske has had probably has the more kind of inspirational drivers, like you said. Yeah, Chip has had Dixon and a lot of others. True, but look, let's be honest, he's had Dixon. Franchitti was in the bracket for me as well. And yeah, early doors when he was finding that formula, the Zanardis, the Juan Pablo Montoyas, and then there was kind of mixes of year. But yeah, ever since 2003, when Scott Dixon retires for Chip Ganassi, that will leave a huge, huge gaping hole in that team. He's almost irreplaceable. Alex Palou, if he stays in IndyCar, is a damn good replacement. But yeah, it's still massive, massive hole.
Yep,
in the team.
Grosjean, that's what I was going to come on to. Roman Grosjean, the man we thought was on Dixon's strategy potential,
is not.
Is not.
Is not.
Is not. He's in P12, but he's still racing.
I was going to say that's it. That's a pretty damn good race for him, has to be said. Well, so yeah, looks like Malukas is going to get on the podium. It's been a very good race for Alexander Rossi. Looks like it's a P4 for him at the moment. McLaughlin rounding off a top 5. It's probably a day for McLaughlin of what could have been, because obviously having that penalty. But yeah, it's interesting ones there. We've got Palou on the leaderboard 7. I think he'd take that on a short oval. Like we said, he hasn't quite found a formula for this level of racing going for now. It's going to get weird at this point. Watch out.
This is when people will start to send it. This is the business end. This is when your move will make a difference for sure. At the rest of the race, it's like if you make this risky move, it means nothing. But now if you make a risky move, it means points.
Absolutely. And the frustrating thing for Dixon now is it's in that caution territory. He would only really want a caution now in the last 5 laps. Because I don't think even IndyCar, unless it's like a tiny one, can get it to go green with 2 laps to go, with like a last lap shootout. Exactly. Oh, yeah. Other than that. But yeah, with 10 laps to go, they'll do everything they can to get the race to finish under green. But yeah, 10 laps to go.
Of this 260 lap race.
Nigel on 93 was a sensation. Nigel on 94, less so. Absolutely. 92 was pretty damn good as well. But different series for sure.
Looks like Ferrucci's going to fall short of his top 10, but number 14 car.
In number 14! Ericsson just needs to get one more position for the number 8 car to get into P8.
Palou needs to drop 3 places.
Scotty McLaughlin looks like he's got his work cut out to get the number 3 car into P3. Rossi's overachieved, having the number 7 car in P4. Connor Daly massively overachieving, getting the... and actually, is that Connor Daly being the highest placed of Rahal Letman Lanigan?
He has been all day.
Nice. Well, in fairness, where has Rahal been? There, 20th. There he is. Dixon won his only race not with Chip under similar circumstances in 2001. Yep. Who was he with? It was a weird team. Was it West Havoc or something like that? It was a weird team, wasn't it? My gosh, Dixon looks like Mo, AJ, and Mario today. He does. He does. Pac West. There we go. I knew it was something West. From there, Nigel on 83 was non-existent. Amazing how a change to the best car in F1 can change a mediocre driver into a good one. I would say that's slightly harsh. I think Mansell was a very good driver. He's very fast. He's what would I say about Mansell? I would say he's better than, but he's definitely an emotional driver like Grosjean. Definitely was a driver that wore his heart on his sleeve. But that was quite a lot of drivers at that era. The Sennas of the world. For their Prost was only kind of more of the professor for sure, who was kind of controlled from it. I think René Arnoux was kind of quite passionate. Nelson Piquet definitely was an emotional driver from there. But yeah, 5 laps to go. Going back to IndyCar, we've got Scott McLaughlin. Can he find a way past Alexander Rossi before the end of the race? And Colton Herta on the back of Scott McLaughlin. There's still maybe potential there. These cars looking to get back onto the lead lap on Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon's hitting his fuel numbers. O'Ward's not even trying to kind of chase it. He's going, hoping for a late red flag caution, or just maybe hoping that Dixon's car fails in that one. But he seems happy again to take the P2. And for Pato, again, a race, it could have been a race victory for him. And it's going to feel weird recently for Pato to go a season without winning.
Well,
he's still got 2 races, but I feel like this was potentially one of his best chances to do it.
And you think all he had to do was beat Newgarden, which he did. But the problem for Pato was Scott Dixon showed up in a major way. And is going to put 22 seconds on second place on an oval, complete and utter domination through strategy and driver on-track performance.
Unbelievable. And Don saying between today and the Indy GP2, this was the best back-to-back strategy races in modern times. I mean, yeah, unbelievable. The strategy has been incredible. And the execution of that strategy, like you said, Stephen, has been crazy. Final lap is here. It's crazy. Scott Dixon, he's done it again. He's not going to let his junior, Alex Palou, out Dixoning Dixon, have it all his own way. But here he is. Scott Dixon wins in Gateway. Back-to-back victories for the 6-time champion in IndyCar. 1-time Indy 500 winner. Is there still fight in the old dog yet? Going on for 2 races to go. We have Portland. We have Laguna Seca. What can Scott Dixon do? He's going to need a little bit of luck. He's going to need something to happen to Palou in one of those races to stand any chance of winning it. But yeah, he realistically needs to win the next. He's won back-to-back races, and he's going to need to win the next 2 to stand any chance. But in a race by itself, fantastic strategy. Josef Newgarden, hands on hips. The strategy, he's probably lost out to Dixon anyway. But his championship fight, his season comes to an end today. And his race for 5 comes to an end today as well. He drove absolutely fantastic out there, Josef Newgarden. Brilliant. There's Marshall on camera, just trying to get his camera coming in there. I mean, wow. Dixon, what a race. Newgarden, like I said, surely in his head, he won't, because Newgarden's a winner. He's mental. He shuts things out. But he's surely going, man, can't I catch a break in this championship? Last time out, it was a car that spun me, and I had to I was the only one in the championship contenders who got caught in that and lost out in the race. Dixon was almost caught in that, went to the back and won the race on that strategy. And today, P2 still would have been a fantastic result for him, and his car gives up on him.
But who cares about Newgarden now? He is old news, because it is only between Dixon and Alex Palou as we head into the final 2 rounds, which we will be live.
Yeah, we will be live. We will be live for the final 2 rounds. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
No worries here.
No.
Is it next week, Portland, or is it 2 weeks? If it's next week, we may not be live for the whole of it. We'll come in on some of the race.
Dun, dun.
Oh, I thought you were looking it up.
I was.
Oh, it is September. But it's 8 p.m. So we should probably get back in time, but we will be at the football next week, and it is a 4:30 kickoff.
It's an 8 o'clock race, so I presume that's more 8:30.
So yeah, we may, exactly. We may come here, guys, but we may be a little bit late. So stick with us. We'll be here next week for it. Back to back for the last 3. Absolutely, he's got to do it. I swear that's Dario Franchitti in the Firestone mascot seat. Amazing. 55 wins, unreal. Absolutely. Second most winningest driver in IndyCar history. Only the great AJ Foyt has more championships and more wins in American open wheel racing than this man on your screen, Scott Dixon. But yeah, what a race he's driven. What a strategy. It's been fantastic. And guys, as always, thank you so much for being here with us. It's been a fantastic stream as always. Scott, again, thank you for the poster. We love it as always. Thanks for all your support and everything you do for the channels. Hope you enjoy the stream. Oval Racing, built for speed. We love it. Hello, Palou.
Hello.
Manages. But actually, it's not Hello, Palou today. It is the Iceman, Scott Dixon, who claims victory. But if you're new around here or haven't done so already, what can they do, Stephen?
They can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Ding it. So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing.